Cornell, I was assigned, everybody had to take ROTC. It was routine, it was a required course. And so I took 2 years in the Air Force ROTC and decided to stay in the ROTC. This was the time of the Korean War. It wasn't really for draft dodging because I got out of that by taking an exam. I did want to continue my studies, but in any case I did want to learn how to fly. So I thought that would be a good opportunity. I had to serve, in those days you had to serve in the armed forces, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to, there were a variety of things that you could do. You could join the National Guard or something like that, but I decided to do mine by learning how to fly in the Air Force. And so for
Sorry.
2 years.
Sorry, I didn't realize.
Okay, fine. You can close that door if you want. For 2 years, I learned how to fly. What's who's singing? And in order to get a flying job in the Air Force for my 3rd year, I was only required to do 3 years. You had to sign up for 2 more years, and I didn't want to. I didn't like the military, needless to say, the regimentation and the. Well, I can tell you some good stories about my conflicts with the military, but that'd take too long. So I got a job. I was assigned to Alaska in the Air Defense Command, and with flying on the side. I flew DC-3s. We call them C-47s in the Air Force. It's the Douglas DC-3, and I flew them around Alaska, moving people here and there, USO troops, a lot of them. And a long trip I took to the North Shore of Alaska and Canada, inspecting the defense early warning stations. They were setting up radars there.
Mm-hmm.
Some hair-raising adventures up there. In the middle of November, we lost an oil cooler on our left engine, and had to land, had to make an emergency landing at one of the sites up there.
Wow.
Everything went well.
Now, your daughter Beth mentioned to me that you told her once that you were on the plane, and maybe you had done this many times even, but that you would just sit and play chess on the plane, going back and forth in Alaska.
If I was in the pilot seat, I wouldn't. But we would usually have 3 pilots and a crew, and one of the crew members and one of the other pilots was a chess player, and we would take the chess set along with us and play it on the airplane. And I don't ever remember doing it in the pilot seat, but I don't think there was enough room to set up the board. But we had this little peg, so that if the airplane bounced around, the pieces wouldn't move. It had a little peg in the hole, and so that
And the piece would stay
it would not
fixed.
fly around. Yeah, and we used that. When we'd get to our site, we'd usually have to overnight a couple days while they changed cargoes. If it was people, it was like a USO show. They would stay overnight, do their act, and then we'd leave the next day. So I didn't always go to the show because I'd see it. I've seen it, already a couple of times. I didn't want to see it there. So we'd play chess, or we'd play cards. In the darkness of Alaska in the winter.
Wow, that's great. Well, I wanted to ask you some more about your teaching. You eventually went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Right.
How did you end up there?
Well, my undergraduate degree was in biochemistry, and I just couldn't see myself with a white suit on in the laboratory. I wanted to do something that was more outside. I had a feeling that the school had something to do with it because I spent most of my time outside at that school. Sure, I did a little weaving, a little art, and a lot of woodwork, but most of the time I was out playing on the ponds and streams. We didn't have to stay at school. We could wander around the community. That was one of the nice things about it. Anyway, I thought atmospheric science, or at that time it was called meteorology, would allow me to do things involved with the outside. So I went to the University of Wisconsin. I majored in meteorology. And my minor was in plant ecology because I was interested in the climate change and natural indicators of climate like forests and vegetation. And I spent a lot of time in Canada on that project. I graduated from Wisconsin in '63, and in the fall I started teaching at Albany. I came here because Vincent Schaefer, who was a well-known cloud physicist, was setting up a research station at Whiteface Mountain. I saw this as a nice place to do an experiment on the relationship between environment and vegetation, natural vegetation, because of the elevation difference. As you go up higher, it gets colder and sometimes wetter. So the vegetation changes with altitude. And I was interested to see how the communities changed. And I did a variety of projects like that at Whiteface and at Lake George. Did some work on circulation of Lake George and large-scale currents in Lake Ontario and the New York Bight. A little bit of work on acid deposition in the Adirondacks, the effects of the acid deposition on trees, on the forests themselves. That's pretty much.
This is all your own research?
Yeah.
Do you ever involve students with these projects?
Well, graduate students involved in all of those. Sometimes undergraduates to help get the data in the summer, field data. So I spend my times in the forests and in the lakes and on the streams.
So you've been able to do that just like you were
Right.
able to once upon a time in New
Right.
Jersey.
Right. In New Jersey, there was a little stream called Ambrose Brook that ran right by the school. And we dammed it up and made a pond. And right next to our house was a little pond, which we skated on. It was too muddy to swim in, full of leeches and snakes, turtles, and frogs. But we would build boats and sail the boats on the pond. So I got to know a fair amount about limnology. My thesis at Wisconsin was a study of the energy balance of ice-covered lakes. Lots of ice in Wisconsin in the winter, and lots of lakes.
Quite convenient there. So you are now the chairman of the Atmospheric Science Department here at SUNY.
Yeah, that's only because nobody else will do it.
How long have you been chairman?
I think it's going on 6 years.
Okay.
And I'm getting out of it, though. I
Are you?
found a sucker to take over.
Okay.
You hear that, Ivan?
So how do you become chairman?
Well, at the time, the chair resigned, the chair 6 years ago, and they were looking around for a chair, and I just kept telling them that I never wanted to do it. I had been the director of an environmental studies program, which is a lot like a chair, back in the 70s. And I really didn't like administration. I didn't like going to all the meetings and doing all the planning and taking care of the budget. The chair's job is a pain in the neck. It's a lot of work. You don't get much credit for it. It's things that you don't really want to do if you're a teacher or a researcher. You'd rather do those other things rather than shuffle paper around. But you got to go to meetings and write memos and defend your department, things that I never really liked to do. But in any case, they couldn't get anybody to do it, so some